Hare Krishna. So today we have the last part of our seminar on Nectar of Instructions, on Upadesamrta. So last three verses actually we'll discuss, and at our last meeting there was a question about Upadesamrta, about Bhagavata-dharma, I wanted to say. And actually Rupa Gosvami here gives us the gist of Bhagavata-dharma first in one verse, and explains a little bit further in next two verses. Yes, so it's very interesting that we pick up this topic. And the first verse of this, that means it's ninth verse of Upadesamrta, says Vaikunta Janito Vrada Mudipuri Tatrapi Rasotsavat Vrindaranya Mudari Ramanat Tatrapi Govardhana Radha Kundam Ihapi Okula Kupute Pramamrita Plavanat Kuryatasya Virajato Gitate Sevam Vivekinakaha. Yes, and this verse explains the same thing that Narada Muni was searching for and Gopakumara was searching for. And they went through different planets and different worlds to finally achieve Vrindavan. And here it says that above Vaikuntha, which is of course above material worlds, is Mathura Puri. Mathura. Why Mathura? Because Lord Krishna took birth there. So Mathura is much higher than all of the Vaikuntha planets, spiritual planets. And then about even Mathura, where Lord Krishna was born, is Vrindavan. Why? Because Krishna performed rasa dance there. So it's very, very intimate place, Vrindavan. And above Vrindavan, it's Govardhan Hill. Because Krishna first lifted it up with his left little finger, and held it for 7 days. And this is one point, and the other that it's a place of very intimate pastimes with cowherd boys and gopis, so it's full of rasa, Govardhan Hill. But above all of this is Radha Kunda. It's Radha Kunda, which is overflown, Premamrita Plavanat, with love, with prema to Krishna. And Rupa Goswami concludes this verse, who is intelligent, Vivek, that means who is enlightened and intelligent person, would not engage in the service of Radha Kunda. Yes. So we can see from this verse its continuation of the previous verse we discussed Friday. Yes, on Friday. That Rupa Goswami says that it's very important to by chanting the Lord's holy names, we should constantly remember also his Lord's pastimes and activities and his character and so on, and that we should reside in Vrindavan and follow the examples of Vrajavasis all the time. Yes. And this is he says, the essence of all advice. The essence of all advice. Yes. And here he explains that the highest possible achievement, the highest possible meditation is to connect with Vrajavasis, especially in the place like Radhakunda, which is overflown by spiritual love. Yes. So this should be our goal and meditation. We don't speak much about these highest achievements in bhakti yoga for many reasons. One of them is, of course, to take this highest realm of devotional service very cheaply, and then we can cheat ourselves of this rarest jewel, pretending that we embarked the highest path. But unfortunately, if we are still on material bodily platform, then we cannot enter this abode which is overflown by love to Krishna, because we are overflown by love for our body and mind. And therefore we can see Vrindavan was called Fakirpur. Have you heard for this expression for Vrindavan? Fakirpur. And who is Fakir?
One who takes austerities?
Yes. Tapa Bhumi is the other word for Vrindavan. Tapa Bhumi. That means that extremely austere people were living there, not sense and joyous. But they weren't austere and fakirs just to perform some austerities, but not to be slaves of our bodily passions. Yes, because as long as we are slaves of our passions, we cannot enter this abode. So we should know that the process of Raga Bhakti, we discussed Raga Bhakti when we discussed 8 treasures of Lord Chaitanya from different sampradayas, is possible by developing what? Do you remember? What is the requirement for Raga Bhakti?
Exclusive dependence?
No. Any other guess?
Raga?
No. Raga is developed by the first qualification for Raga Bhakti is Lobha. Deep craving for this. Yes, Lobha. And it is attained how? Do you remember this Lobha?
Association with advanced devotees.
Yes, by mercy. Either by mercy of Krishna or advanced devotees. Yes. So, Krishna tad bhakta karunya matra lobeka hetuka pushti margataya kaishit iyam raganugochati. So, one can embark the path of raganuga by lobha, which is attained by Krishna tad bhakta karunya, either by mercy of Krishna or bhakta. Yes. So, but as we discussed, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that one can develop such lobha only when he's fixed in devotional service, when one goes beyond anarthas. that means on Nishta platform, over Anartha Nivriti. Yes, because as long as we are under the sway of our passions and material desires, then we have lobha for other things. As simple as that. Yes, devotional process is very simple, very simple. So we shouldn't cheat ourselves. So we should be very strict in our devotional process, and then we can crave for this lobha, because by deep desire we can receive even most ardent desire, as is this lobha. Yes, this is important to understand, that it's not something cheap. And in Raghavartma Chandrika itself, I already stressed this, and I'm stressing again. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who is Rasacharya himself, says, Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatra Vidim Vina Aikantiki Harir Bharti Utpate Eva Kalpate. That if one performs so-called Aikantiki Bhakti, one point in devotion, without following Shruti and Smriti, is just a disturbance. In fact, it's not Bhakti. Yes. So he explains that Raga Bhakti means think of the heart, of meditation. But on the bodily platform outside, it is following Vaidhi Bhakti, he says. Yes. So Raganuga Bhakti is not denying of the process of devotional service, but it is deepening devotional service by this lobha, and meditation, thinking of Krishna. Yes. And this is accompanied in Kali Yuga as with everything with chanting the holy names. And this is explained by Lord Chaitanya himself to Raghunath Das Goswami, who is our Prayojana Acharya, about the highest perfection Acharya. And he says, Amani Manadahanya Krishna Nama Sadalabe Vraja Radha Krishna Siva Manasa Koribe. So he says that yes, by be extremely humble and offer all respects to others, and always chant the holy name. Krishna Nama Sadalabe. Always chant the holy name. But Manasa Koribe, in your mind, offer your service, Vraja Radha Krishna Siva. That means in Vrindavan, serve Radha and Krishna in your mind, always. Yes. So here Rupa Goswami in 8th verse explains, yes, this is the essence of all advice, to connect this smarana, connect with these names, qualities, pastimes of the Lord, following the example of Vrajavasis. By body we follow the examples like Rupa Goswami, Srila Prabhupada, who are Vrajavasis, who lived in Vrindavan. So they were very strict in devotional service. And within our heart we follow the Ragatmika Bhaktas. Yes. So that means if we read one of the most prominent of acharyas, like Narottam Das Thakur, Kishore Das Babaji was asked how to attain prema. Do you know his answer? he said, go to the marketplace with a few annas, that means little money, and buy 2 books, Prima Bhakti Chandrika and Prarthana, both by Narottam Das Thakur, and read them daily, and you will attain Prema. And if you read Prarthana, for example, in Prima Bhakti Chandrika, Narottam Das Thakur gives more detailed explanation of the whole process of bhakti, even Raganuga and so on. But in Prarthana, he composed many different songs, different poems, and they're all deep longing, expression of this lobha to attain the position of the gopis. So he doesn't imagine that he's a gopi, although we know that his perfect position is Manjari. But as a sadhaka, he gave us this path of deep craving. When will this day come that I can serve Radha and Krishna directly, that I can fan them and give them different fruits and tambula to chew? Yes, when will this day come? When I'll be purified? I'm most unfortunate. I'm the most worthy object of your mercy. And he turns also to his Guru Maharaj and so on, Lokanath Goswami, in his prayers. So this is our meditation, internal meditation, to follow the examples of these gopis by craving, not to imagining that we are these gopis, but by deep craving to attain this position. Yes. Of course, the most ridiculous form of this was that on the bodily platform, like Sahajias, to dress like gopis or and imagine that they're gopis and engage in sex. Yes. Thus following the example. It's ridiculous. And they, of course, cheated themselves extremely. So we shouldn't pretend that we are something that we are not, but we should crave. And Lord Chaitanya and Rupa Gosvami, and we will see in the next verse, also Srila Prabhupada are directing us in this direction. Yes, that we should crave for this, this perfection. So, in this verse, 9th verse, Rupa Goswami explains from the whole different universes and spiritual worlds, the highest possible is Radha Kunda. And then in next verse, in 10th verse, he discusses different practitioners. And he says, Karmi bhyah parito hareh priyatyan vyaktim yayu gyaninas tibhyo jnana vimukti bhakti parama pramaikhanishta stata tibhyastah parshupala pankachadrishas tabhyopi saradhika tad prishta tadvastyam tadiya sarasi tanashriyat kah kriti. Hare Krishna, thank you. Yes, and here it says that karmis are of course about vikarmis, we can say. Karmis are those who are following the principles of karma. That means they're following some dharma, Vedic dharma, and perform different sacrifices and so on. But above these karmis, who we can say are pious people, are jnanis, those who have profound knowledge of what is matter and what is spirit. And about these jnanis are devotees, of course. Devotees who achieve prema are better than ordinary devotees. And for example, for these jnanis, it's interesting that Krishna himself says in 7th chapter of Bhagavad-gita, he says, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavanamam prapadati Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. That such jnani, after many births, he may understand that Vasudeva or Krishna is everything, and then he surrenders to him. Yes. Bahunam janmanam ante. At the end, ante, after bahunam janma, after many births, Jnanavan mam prapadyati, surrenders unto me. Yes, Jnanavan mam prapadyati. Because in 12th chapter he says, Klesho dikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam, avyakta higatir dukham dekavad brevapyati. That those who are on this path of jnana, their only goal is klesha, suffering. Yes. Klesho dikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam. Avyakta higatir dukham, and suffering is their goal. But one verse before, he said that at the end they attain me. So how is this? All they achieve is suffering. But it is explained in 7th chapter. Bahunam janmanam ante. They are born, reborn again and again and again, until they finally realize some rare soul, Mahatma Sudurlabha. Durlabha means rare, and this is Sudurlabha, extremely rare person, understands, yes, Krishna is everything, and he surrenders unto him. So, but these jnanis are nevertheless higher than their karmis, and it's interesting, in 7th verse, one verse before this, Krishna himself, he says that all these pious people, karmis also, are udara. Udara sarva evaite. Certainly there are great souls. Jnanit patmahima mematam. But I consider jnani as equal to myself. Yes, so Lord Krishna highly glorifies jnanis. But he says, we know that bhakta, he considers bhakta more than himself and more than his relatives. Yes. For Uddhava, he says, it's better than Lakshmi, Balaram, Brahma, Shiva. Yes, I forgot someone. And he himself. Yes, it's 5. So the devotee is more than his wife, more than his brother, more than his son, Brahma, more than his expansion as Shiva, and more than himself is a devotee. But jnani he considers equal to himself. Yes. So, devotee, by all conclusions, is higher than jnani. But those who have developed prema are higher than ordinary devotees. But then gopis, who are completely devoted to Krishna are higher than devotees who have developed prema. But amongst the gopis, the highest of all is Radharani. And as dear to Krishna as is Srimati Radharani is also Radha Kunda. So the question that Rupa Goswami poses is, who wouldn't take shelter of Radha Kunda after knowing all this? Yes, interesting. Very interesting. And here, Prabhupada translates much more that is said in verse itself. And then he explains that who wouldn't take shelter of Radha Kunda and perform Ashtakalya Lila, service of Ashtakalya Lila of the Lord. Yes, this is not in the verse mentioned by Rupa Goswami, but Prabhupada's translation is mentioning this. So it is very important. He directs us, although Rupa Goswami himself doesn't say this, but Prabhupada says this with a purpose, of course. Nothing is written just like this, that he fulfills some quota, how much he should write. No, it has some purpose. And the purpose is, of course, for his followers, that we understand that this is the thing we should crave for, that we should have lobha for. Yes. And it is interesting that before, we didn't mention this, but in 5th verse, when it is described how a devotee should perceive other devotees and offer his respects to different devotees, it is said that he should faithfully serve the highest devotee who has no tinge of for criticizing others. Yes. And it is interesting that acharyas in their commentaries, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and I think that Radharaman Das, who is original commentator in our Sampradaya on Upadesamrta, which was followed by Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. They are mentioning that this highest devotee is, because it says bhajana vigya, that he knows what is bhajana. And they explain that this knowledge of bhajana is to know how to engage in Ashtakalya Lila, in service of Ashtakalya Lila, in eightfold pastimes of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. And Lord Chaitanya also, who was, that means that we meditate on Lord Chaitanya's and Radha and Krishna's pastimes in these 8 parts of the day. Yes. So we can see that all different acharyas, including Srila Prabhupada, are directing us to this meditation. Of course, he always is very careful that one should not prematurely or in some imagination do some advanced practices, because he also says that no one can perform devotional service like Haridas Thakur, for example. Yes, it's not possible just to jump to the platform of Haridas Thakur. Yes, so we should engage in devotional service with this deep desire, as described by Narottam Das Thakur in Prarthana, in this deep meditations in his songs. So we should read Prarthana. I encourage you to read Prarthana and Prema Bhakti Chandrika. Yes. We have Prema Bhakti Chandrika with commentaries of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur available. Yes, and there are also on certain verses are included purports by Srila Prabhupada, also very deep. One is from Back to Godhead, before Srila Prabhupada even came to America, and Prabhupada said that one should engage 100% in devotional service and nothing else. That is our natural position. Yes, 100% and nothing else whatsoever. Yes, and that many devotees are so-called devotees. Majority, he says, that when they are put, because Prabhupada was by profession chemist, he wrote that if they are put in the acid test of devotional service, they would turn out mundane people. Yes. So we should be careful not to outwardly follow, but in the acid test we would prove ourselves mundane people. Yes, this is very important, to be honest and sincere, and but we should know what is our prayojana. This is important. What is our prayojana, and deeply crave for this, because without craving, without this lobha, we will not even consider that this is very important. What to speak of desiring to attain this? Yes. We will not even consider that this is very important. So, yes, we should know what is the highest, who is the highest worshipper of the absolute truth, and this is Radharani. They are all different practitioners, but Radharani is the highest. So we are all followers of Radharani actually, and we already discussed this, that we are particles of Radharani, because she is original Shakti, and we are Tatashta Shakti, that is Shakti, and all Shaktis are emanating from Srimati Radharani. So we are her particles, and we should be engaged in her service for Lord Krishna's pleasure. And then it is the last verse, 11th verse. It says, Krishna's yochaik pranaya vasatih preyasibhyo pirada kundam chasya munirabitas tastadrikeva vyadai yat prishtam apalavma sulabam kim punar bhakti bhajam tat pramedam sakritapisarah snaturavish karoti. So here it says how Radha Kunda is as dear as Srimati Radharani, and it is extremely rarely attainable. Even for advanced devotees, very advanced devotees, what to speak of ordinary devotees. And if one takes bath in Radha Kunda, he will attain the love of the gopis for Krishna. Yes. Uh, yes. So, have you ever take bath in Radhakunda? Who took bath in Radhakunda? Yes, very good. Very good. And Prabhupada mentions in the commentary that one should take bath as many times as possible. Yes?
But I am the love for Krishna. So,
Yes, it's not mechanical. That means also our attitude towards Radhakunda. Because Radhakunda is not material lake. It appears in material world, but it's not material. So if we enter with material consciousness, without deep longing, with this craving as described by Narottam Das Thakur in Prarthana, in this mood, then we will not have such benefit, deep benefit, as we can have if we enter in this mood. Of course, we should consider ourselves unfit, because who can be fit? the mere fact that we are in this world is the proof that we are not fit. But we have this opportunity, and it was found by Lord Chaitanya himself, and he instructed the Goswamis in Vrindavan to excavate these places in Vrindavan, not for his pleasure, but for the benefit of conditioned souls. So we should take bath in Radhakund and Shyamakund and go to these places with proper mood that are taught by acharyas, how to enter Vrindavan. And what's the proper mood to enter Vrindavan?
Service.
Sorry?
Service-minded.
Service-minded? Yes. Of course. One example that we should take is Akrura's example. Have you heard? How Akrura entered Vrindavan?
rolling around in the dust.
Yes. When he came to take Krishna and Balaram to Mathura by the order of Kamsa, he came to Vrindavan, and when he saw footprints of Lord Krishna in the dust of Vrindavan, he stopped and rolled in the dust of his Lord, of Lord Krishna. This was very bold action, actually. We can think, yes, he was a devotee and he rolled in the dust. But it was not safe to do such a thing, because the spies of Kamsa were everywhere. And for example, these Yagic Brahmanas, if you remember, when their wives came back to their husbands realized, yes, our wives are extremely great devotees, and they considered them their gurus after this incident. And they suddenly developed great desire to see Krishna. But they didn't dare to go to Vrindavan because they were afraid of Kamsa, that Kamsa will kill them. So they didn't go. But Akrura, who was Kamsa's servant, although he knew that Kamsa's spies are everywhere, he nevertheless jumped from the golden chariot and rolled in the dust of Vrindavan. Yes. Despite of this danger for his life, actually. Yes. So this should be our mood, to come to Vrindavan and roll in the dust. Yes. In utter humility, that we should know that we are lower than this dust. So we try to get the mercy of this dust. Because why we are lower than this dust? Because this is dust of Vrindavan. Yes. This is the dust of Vrindavan. Lord Krishna walked on this dust. So it has the highest possible position. Yes. But we crave to have such intimate relationship with Krishna as this dust has. So we should roll in the dust to get his mercy, to get his blessings. Yes, to get his blessings. So yes, rolling in the dust. And then we should of course go to this most sacred of lakes and take deep bath with the same mood that I'm an insignificant servant of the servant of the servant, trying to be the servant of the servant of the servant. But although I'm incapable of properly perform any service, I still petition to you, Radha Kunda, that please bless me by at least a fraction of this love for Krishna. In this mood, if we enter Radha Kunda, we'll definitely develop gradually this desire. And even if you took it with not such perfect attitude, if you now develop this perfect attitude, or at least strive for such perfect attitude, with this idea, yes, please, Radha Kunda, please, dear devotees, help me in this condition. I'm helpless, I'm full of faults. Everyone is full of faults in this material world. Who knows how many desires we have. So, but I want to get rid of all these unwanted desires. Yes, this should be our mood. Although I'm full of faults and material desires and so on, but I want to get rid of all of this because they're obstacles to my most cherished goal. They will destroy me, like I have been destroyed from time immemorial, time and again and again and again. I was destroyed. So what's the purpose of remaining in this unfortunate position for another day of Brahma? And another one, and another one, for million of births. It's crazy. It's really crazy if we think like this. And we have now the rarest opportunity, because it's time of Lord Chaitanya. We should know, only once in the day of Brahma, that means 8,640,000,000 years. I cannot imagine how long is this. Even 1,000,000 years, it's unlimited for our perception, I believe. 1,000,000 years. It's extremely long period. But 8 billion, can you imagine? 8 billion. Billion is 1,000 million. And 8 billion, 640,000,000 years. In this time, once comes original Lord Chaitanya. And we are just 500 years separated from this time. That means that we are still in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya himself. This is Chaitanya Lila, still going on. So we should perceive it like this and pray for the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, because Lord Chaitanya revealed these places of Vrindavan and instructed Rupa Gosvami, Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami to reveal these places for our benefit. For our benefit, not just for these places' sake. These places are eternal, and Krishna are eternally perform pastimes there, even if they're hidden to us, isn't it? Yes, no problem for Krishna. Therefore, they put so much effort, although they were the highest possible devotees. They put so much effort just for our benefit. Yes, so we should take bath in Radha Kunda with this deep craving. Yes, Radha and Krishna, please accept me as your servant, as the servant of your servant. Yes, and then we'll definitely develop this lobha, which is needed to embark raga bhakti, which is needed to achieve Radha Kunda even in our heart. Yes. So we can reside as advised by Rupa Gosvami here in this Upadesamrta, and also by Prabhupada in his commentaries, and even his translation, extended translation, that we should live at Radha Kund. Of course, that means not everyone can physically live there, but physically is secondary. Even if we physically live there, but in our heart we are full of material desires, we don't live in Vrindavan. We live in material world. And if we are here in Sweden or wherever, have this desire to connect with Krishna and Radha Kunda, we can enter. Hare Krishna. We can always reside there, and that is our goal. Yes.
I don't know if this is too big of a question because you're wrapping up the class, but when it comes to being 100% engaged in devotional service, what does that mean? Does that imply that you have to be spending all of your active time in chanting japa or in serving advanced devotee or in contemplation on Krishna's pastimes? Or can you have that consciousness while you are, say, executing your like naimitika, your temporary dharma in this world, or how does that?
Yes, we should be engaged 24 hours a day in devotional service, in the service of our spiritual master, and in meditation that we are the servant of the servant of the servant. And even if we are grihastas and we have many duties in this world to earn money and so on, we can have this meditation. I am Krishna's servant. I perform this service as a Krishna's servant, and I will use all my energy, all my money, all my family, and for Krishna's service, all my life for Krishna's service. And then everything is done in this mood. Even if we have different responsibilities, maybe we cannot concentrate constantly on Krishna's lila, or even on just chanting during our duties that we have performed. to perform. But the mood is important. If I do it in the mood that I'm a servant, not the master, then it's a proper mood. Then it's devotional mood. Because Jivara Swarupa Hoy Krishna Nitya Das. We are always the servant. This is our eternal position. And if we perform our daily duties in this mood, then this is Vrindavan mood. Because gopis also had to milk the cows and perform different duties, but they always think of Krishna. They always think of Krishna, and they consider themselves Krishna's servants, and they just think how to meet Krishna. Yes. This is their constant hankering and planning. So you can also try to develop this. Of course, when Krishna left for Mathura, gopis said that they tried to forget Krishna, but it's impossible. We are in the opposite position. We try to remember Krishna, but it's impossible. Yes. So, therefore, we should take this position, as Narottam Das Thakur explains. When will this day come that I will serve Radha and Krishna? This deep longing. But deep longing will come from deep chanting of the holy names. If we connect in our japa, in this craving, this longing, then we can long all day long. Yes. But if we don't connect in our japa, then it's not possible to connect otherwise. You had a question?
I was thinking about the mode of being the servant of the servant of the servant.
Yes.
That means you are focused on pleasing the devotees. So how can you at the same time you should develop your love for Krishna, but if you are the servant of the servant, then you are focused on the servants of the Lord. So
Yes, we should know that the servants of the Lord are non-different than the Lord. And they are more dear to the Lord than the Lord himself is dear to himself. So, and by serving the devotees, we will always have this mentality that Krishna is satisfied by this mood. We will never forget this idea, because Krishna is the one who gives us substance of our meditation.
Sorry, we have to go. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for intelligent questions. So yes, Krishna will give us power to remember, to meditate. And Krishna himself is explaining this in 15th chapter of Bhagavad-gita. Sarvasya chaham hridihta nivishto mattak smritir jnanam apokhanam cha. From me comes remembrance, knowledge and forgetfulness. Yes. So Krishna himself will give us remembrance of him if he is satisfied with our devotional service. So if we have this constant meditation, I am the servant of the servant, and try to serve the devotees, Krishna will give us remembrance of him very gladly. Yes, because we don't perceive devotees as something separate from Krishna. We know that they are Krishna's servants and that Krishna is pleased by this, performing this service. And we can do this especially if we are connected with our japa. if we go deep in our japa. Without going deep in our japa, all devotional service is just superficial. All different aspects of devotional service is superficial. Yes, it's staying on the surface. Only through our japa we can deepen our mood and connection on the deepest level with Krishna, and also develop this craving. Otherwise, it's not possible. Yes.
This lowlyam or loma,
Yes.
how is it expressed in the spiritual world?
It's expressed that everyone cannot live without Krishna. When Krishna goes in the forest, Yashoda and Nanda want to go with him, and they're crying that they are left behind, and Yashoda is in complete anxiety. So love is beyond peace. Love means anxiety. It's not peace. Yashoda doesn't sit and shanti, shanti, shanti. Yes, she's in complete anxiety for Krishna. So our position is like this. And of course we know gopis are also in complete anxiety all the time. It's interesting that these highest devotees are always in anxiety, but not the cowherd boys.
Not?
The cowherd boys. It's interesting. When Krishna leaves cowherd boys in the midday pastimes, and then he plays with the gopis for several hours. When he comes back to the cowherd boys, they are thinking, "Oh, you just left us and you're already back." And when Brahma stole the cowherd boys, for a year, they also thought, "Oh, you're just gone and you already found these calves and you returned immediately." But there was a year of not seeing them, actually. Yes. But in the morning, yes, they are very anxious to meet Krishna. Also cowherd boys. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you a few times mentioned that we have to be satisfied in order to perform devotional service.
Yes.
So at the same time you say that inhabitants of Vrindavan, they're always in anxiety.
Anxiety, yes.
So is that satisfaction that is on the material platform, that you are satisfied with what you have, so to say, and what you can use for Krishna service?
Exactly. Yes. So we are satisfied with our material environment. Whatever happens to us on the material platform, we accept this as Krishna's mercy. So we are satisfied with everything that comes. And not just satisfied, we are grateful for everything that comes. Because we know it's sent by Krishna for the sole purpose to connect deeper with Him. Either happiness or distress, doesn't matter. It's just for our benefit to connect deeper with Him. Yes. So therefore Krishna instructs us to be satisfied in all circumstances. But when we in connection with Krishna, in our relationship with Krishna, we shouldn't be satisfied. This is when then anxiety should come into play. So anxiety is also Krishna's mercy, but we should use it properly. Like for the service. Like we should use also our desires, not for material happiness or to gather material wealth and so on, but to develop bhakti. And we can use our anger, we also already discussed this, for service of Krishna. And everything we can use in this regard, yes, as a service to Krishna. Also anxiety. Yes, anxiety then naturally comes. Yes.
In Vaikuntha, how is it with anxiety?
Vaikuntha is completely different place. Is the place without anxiety. Yes. There they don't have intimate connection with Krishna, with Narayan. More in this sense that Krishna is the Lord and we are his subjects. Understand? So like a king and the citizens. And they don't see the Lord all the time. And they are completely satisfied in their eternal position in Vaikuntha. Yes. But this is not Vrindavan mood. There they want to have intimate connection with Krishna all the time. Yes.
In Bhagavata-dharma, is Rupa Kumar is he a fictional or a real person?
Who knows? It is described by Maharaj Parikshit to Uttara. So we may take him as a real person. But this is not so important for us. For us it's important the teachings we can get from his journey, either his fictional or real. The purpose of his story is for us to understand what is the highest perfection. And the highest perfection is, of course, love of Vrajavasis for Krishna. And this is told by this story of Gopa Kumar. Yeah. Anything else?
The mood in Dvaraka, is it the same as in Vaikuntha?
No, it's more intimate, but with understanding of Lord Aishwarya. This is always in the forefront. That Krishna is God. But their love for Krishna is much deeper than love of Vaikuntha Vasis for Lord Narayan. And therefore they have intimate relationship with Krishna. But still they have this understanding that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes. But in Vraja, the relationships are so sweet that they forget. Everyone forgets. Even Krishna himself forgets that he is the Lord. Yes. Only when it's needed he remembers. Yes. Otherwise, when they are separated, they understand. When they suffer in separation from Krishna, they understand that Krishna is the Lord. Yes. But when they meet with him, but although they knew, they know, we can say in the present, because it's eternal world, although they know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, that never diminishes their intimate understanding of their relationship with Krishna. Yes. For example, Devaki and Vasudeva prayed to Krishna and Balaram You are not our children. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But although Nanda and Yashoda knew that Krishna is the Lord, they still, and although he is so powerful and great, we are so unfortunate that he's our son and he doesn't live with us anymore. They still considered him as their child. Yes. So they always considered Krishna as their intimate friend or child or lover. Although they were separate and full of humility also. Yes. But their mood was never lost. Yes. This is important. Therefore, it's it is interesting that Sanatana Goswami in this Brihad Bhagavata-dharma says that only Vrindavan mood is completely akapata. That means, kapat means cheating. That means not completely ahetuki bhakti, we can say. Not completely without any motive, without any condition. So the queens of Dwaraka, who are extremely high devotees, still want to have this samanjasa bhakti relationship with Krishna, properly be married with Krishna. On the other hand, the gopis of Vrindavan didn't have this idea that they have to be properly married with him. Even if we are not properly married and we violate all the laws of Dharma, we still want to be just with him. And in the modern society, this is not something special, because everyone is violating the laws of Dharma and morality. And women are leaving their husbands, and husbands are leaving their wives. So nothing special for this age. But for their time, this was extremely unheard of. Therefore, their sacrifice for Krishna is unimaginable, actually. Yes, they completely sacrificed everything, their life. They can be killed, and they knew it. They can be killed, and that was the argument that these wives of Yogic Brahmanas said to Krishna. They will kill us if we go back. Yes, they can be killed. Yes, but although they knew that they can be killed, they just went to Krishna. Krishna was their only consideration. Nothing else in this world, not even life itself. So we should crave for this mood, that nothing else matters. World can fall apart, but my only goal is Krishna. And the world will fall apart. So it's useless to bother about this world. It's important to save us and save other living entities. Yes, this is our mission, because our mission is to serve Radha, as we explained now. And all living entities, how to serve Radha Kunda. It says in this 9th verse that we should serve Radha Kunda. Radha Kunda is overflown by love to Krishna. It's Radha's love for Krishna, actually. Liquid form of Radha's love. So we should spread these waves of Radha Kunda to all people of this world. This is the mood of Lord Chaitanya. To overflood this world with Radha Kunda, actually. So we should take bath in Radha Kunda every day, without exception, in our heart. And try to overflow in this world with waves of love of Srimati Radharani, because this is the service to Radha Kunda and for Srimati Radharani. Yes, because every living entity is particle of Radha. Yes. So, and the sole purpose of the gopis of Vrindavan is to connect Radha with Krishna. So if we are spreading this Krishna consciousness movement, is connecting Radha with Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yes.
It's so amazing that Prabhupada in the very beginning in New York City, 65, 66, he spoke about the gopis' love for Krishna, Radharani's love for Krishna, that he introduced that understanding from the very beginning.
Yes, yes, he wrote about Srimati Radharani from the very, very beginning, and spoke about Srimati Radharani from very beginning. It's amazing. Although he was so careful, he never never hide this truth about Srimati Radharani. He wanted the devotees to know these things and to direct their desires to attain this. Otherwise, why would he speak about this if he would consider not important for the devotees, or that they are too neophyte, and they were too neophyte? But nevertheless, even if we are neophyte, we should know what is our prayojana. If we don't know what is our prayojana, our goal, we will never direct our abhidaya in the right direction. Yes. And on our sadhana depends our sadhya. Our sadhya is always dependent on our sadhana. That means our goal is dependent on our practice. Yes. Hare Krishna. I think we should end here. Thank you very much for your attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol. Please accept my